So we've got this recorded and we're going to say, yay for Sarah Collins to get Emerald. And I feel silly because it shows you how often I'm checking my back office, which I probably should do more, at least checking in on you guys, what you guys are doing. But I check in this morning and there's a new coach added to the team and another coach who's rank changed. And I'm like, who is that? And I look and it's like, oh my gosh, like, hello, these are things that you tell me because I want to celebrate. So that's super exciting. And so we're just going to keep on building and keep on progressing forward with that. So welcome to the Emerald rank. And we have the leadership group. We've actually started doing an Emerald to Diamond like training for that group. Like, I think we've started it like 3 times now. The online office actually has a really decent Emerald to Diamond training. So if you want to even hop on that and do that at your own pace, fabulous. I'm actually getting all the posts that Brigitte did, and we've used some of them, but I'm going to post them in a file in that group so then you can go at those at your own pace too. But again, you know what? This is, as a coach and especially as an Emerald coach, I highly encourage everybody to make this your thing, run with it, find people that connect with you. Like I said, I found this, and I mean, you can find anything. You can find training on everything. And so, Elise Hubbard, we're talking about her now because her account is awesome as far as Instagram goes. Those 3 videos, then she has a one uber long video where she kind of puts all 3 into one area, but she talks a little bit more and uses phrases that are different that I kind of like. But she also has she does a push on an Instagram push like every week. And so I'm like looking at all of her Instagram videos, but I'm also like watching her Dash to Diamond videos. And so, I mean, like if you've got a question on how to do something, like YouTube is amazing. There is no shortage of training of coaches. Lindsay Stay is another one who posts everything online. Her Days to Diamonds for Days training is on her, and she's like one of the top coaches as well. And so, take things and run with it. If you're having a hard time finding people, look up Dash to Diamond Beachbody, and you're going to find a whole bunch of different coaches Dash to Diamond trainings, and they're going to be in there telling you how to find people. If you're having a hard time inviting people, type in invite Beachbody, and you're going to find a whole bunch of different coaches, suggestions on how to invite. So take what you have a struggle with and run with it. The other thing that I want to say too is that if there is something that you are struggling with as far as personal development goes, like an area that you need personal development in, post it in the group or send me a message. I do need to make a list of all the books. I need to put that organized in a list of everything that I've read and where it's helped me. But also reach out to other upline coaches, top coaches. Don't be afraid to write these coaches that you follow and you enjoy and you connect with, and ask them, okay, I'm having a hard time doing this, what's a good place to find, information on that? What's a good source? That's where I learned about Ray Higdon from David Ingram. I learned about Dani Johnson. Dani Johnson is amazing. She's a multimillionaire in network marketing. She was broke, living out of her car on drugs, and turned her life around and became a multimillionaire in network marketing. And she shares not only business tips, but her transformation in personal development and how she developed a relationship with God as well. That's a conference that I haven't even talked about, First Steps to Success, that I went to, and I went to several of them. So again, and I learned about that from a top coach, Daryl Williams. So I guess I'm saying that I'm giving these 3 Vital Behavior training. There's training everywhere to go and get information from. Don't wait for me to give you the answer because I'm taking care of the 3 crazies. I've got, crazy life, but I also only have what's helped me and my only one answer. So go to other coaches too that you admire and you connect with and say, hey, you do this really well. Where did you learn that? Where can I learn that? And I promise you that they will help you out and give you a source. Now they're not going to answer, how to invite somebody. They're going to give you like a video to watch or something like that. But this 3 Vital Behaviors training, I've never heard from Kim before, but Kim is actually the director of something. Basically, he puts together all the training for Beachbody for the whole entire company. And he's been in this position for other companies before, but he's created training for companies for 20 years now, I believe he said. And so he really helped and made sure that the first focus was that this is a relationship business. And so, the end in mind, we're going to be, we're talking about the 3 vital behaviors. We're talking about tasks, but to never lose sight of what we are trying to do. We're trying to help. I know, we're stressed about getting the challenge pack. We're stressed about getting the successful points because we have goals, and we're a totally different breed of people, the way we think and the way we push and the way we excel. But we also are making sure that we're keeping people at the heart. And as long as helping people is something that is in your heart, then you don't have to be good, and you definitely don't have to be perfect at the 3 vital behaviors and what you're doing. You don't have to be perfect at your invites. You don't have to be perfect at your follow-ups. You don't have to worry about messing things up, because your heart and your intent will always shine through. And so you will be successful in business whether or not you've got something down pat. And as you continue to improve that, then you'll just even grow more successful and be able to duplicate to others. So he had asked, what does it take to be a successful coach? And a lot of people gave out different answers. And he drove home being purposeful, consistent, and making sure you're taking action. Being purposeful in your day, making sure that you are driven by a purpose that is deeper than just, the next challenge pack sale. Being consistent, making sure that, you are showing up and you're there for yourself and for the people who are watching you. And then making sure you're taking action, because you can have a vision board and you can stare at that thing all day long. But until you invite people, until you do your workout, you're not going to lose weight looking at the screen, of the menu of your workout program. You got to actually do the action to make it happen. And so if you do it with heart, you do it with consistency, and you continue to just do it, it will work and it will fall into place. I said, everybody is always going, hey, so what's the secret sauce? What is it that's going to be, what is it? Like, what did they know? And he actually said, it's almost like it feels like you have to be in business for so long, or you have to hit emerald rank, or maybe it's even diamond rank, and you have to get there and you got to trudge, and it's just hard work. And it's only then when you hit that certain point that people pull you aside and go, okay, now you've proven yourself. Here's how it really works. And he said, that's not the way it is. That's not the way that it operates. There is no secret sauce. He said, except for this. He said, the reason why you haven't reached goals is because you aren't aligning your actions with your goals. You're going along and you are doing things and you're like, oh, I want this goal. So you start going and working your way towards there. But you have habits that you have created over the past several years that all of a sudden you're like, oh, this TV show is on. Or I heard about this, activity, instead of showing up for a team call, or, sleeping in, staying up late. He said there's different habits that crop up that you're going along, but what you need to do is you need to make these actions that you're doing that are taking you to your goals become your habits. Just you do them and do them and do them and do them until you replace your habits. And he said, our business is not easy because we are dealing with people, and especially dealing with people on a weight loss journey. There's usually deeper issues. There's deeper reasons. There's more things to it that you're turning up inside of them, and things that have been placed in their head, and things placed in your head too. And so it's not easy to deal with the people and the problems that they have that are causing their weight loss or their limiting beliefs, but it's not complicated. And he said he had a picture of a Target, and he said, the thing is that people get into doing other activities, you know, and I know that we've talked heavily about Instagram and the Go for Emerald group, you know, but you got your Instagram, you got your Twitter, and you got your Pinterest, and you got to make videos, and you have to, you know, do this and that and the other. So there's all these different activities, but at the core of it, you need to make sure that the 3 vital behaviors are super strong. You make sure that the 3 vital behaviors are solid, because it's those activities that are supporting the 3 vital behaviors. And if you don't have solid action with the 3 vital behaviors, then the activities that you're doing all around it are going to be wishy-washy, and they're not going to connect you to what you need to do. And everything you want is outside your comfort zone, he said. So he said, the invite. He said, why are there 3 invites? And I know that we've talked about this before. I was very proud of Sarah, you know, and all of her answers at the thing, because he said it's a process of contacting, and you know, you're inviting people to connect with you, inviting people in challenge groups, you know, inviting people to coaching. And so that's the process. And he said the thing is that a lot of people, the heart of inviting is sharing your story. And he said that's actually the toughest thing as a coach, is to get your story down. But once you get your story down, things start to flow a lot easier. And he's like, I'm not talking about the 3,000 word dissertation. Like, people don't want to sit down on Facebook and read, you know, a 5-paragraph essay about why you became a coach or why you're working out. So he gave us a script to kind of go over, and I'm challenging every one of you guys. Sarah, if you've done it, put it in the team page, the answering these questions, filling these blanks in. But he said, here it is, in 2 minutes or less, and he actually said a minute or less, answer these questions. And this is your story. I joined Team Beachbody because I am happy I did it because, and then because of my Beachbody business, I hope to insert your goals. So you build off of that when you're talking to one-on-one person. But on Facebook, on social media, you say, I joined Team Beachbody because I was tired of feeling tired. I was tired of looking in the mirror and not being able to love myself, not being able to give of myself because I didn't like who I was. And I'm happy I did because I lost the weight. I felt great. I was connected to an amazing group of people who are supporting me. I mean, it makes a huge difference in my life when I'm having a rough day and I've got an amazing group of women who are checking in on me and making sure I'm okay. And because I became a coach, I want to share that with other people and let them know that they have a huge network of support. And by doing that and helping other people be able to connect to the great feeling of crushing a workout, I'm able to pay off my mortgage and have the freedom to have my husband home and be able to have us make memories as a family. You know, so there's obviously side tangents and things like that, but those side tangents are what you include when you're talking to somebody one-on-one, and you make sure you write those down. But that way then you use those other things, you know, about my sugar addiction, or, you know, talking about, you know, not wanting to finish Insanity. You know, you take those different things that are a part of your story and you use those when you're talking individually to somebody to relate to them better. But don't be writing dissertations on Facebook. You're going to have people clock out. So start this with a story, and start sharing your story, because people are going to relate. I know we had David Ingram's video where he's like, you know, when he shared his before and after, and his before and after is amazing. His before and after P90X picture is like the best of the best. And he posted it on Facebook and he said, here's my P90X story. Here's my P90X transformation. He had 4 likes. One of them was his wife. One of them was his mom. And one of them actually made a comment and said, dude, those look photoshopped. But when he shared his story about how he was working late hours, and he was working 40 hours, and sometimes it was 11 o'clock before he'd get his workout in, but he knew that he needed to make a change. And so what he usually would have done was not work out. So he knew he needed to. He said that's when his Facebook inbox exploded, was when he shared the story. So let's see. He talked a lot about your why and keeping it present and meaningful to you, and it changes. Your why for why you are working out changes, For Sarah and I, Sarah C. and I, we're working out to make sure we're taking care of our bodies, taking care of our babies. We have something that we can control while our clothes stop fitting. It's for me, it's helping me stay sane and stay connected to, having the right emotions, but then after having baby, it's going to be a whole totally different why, And so, there might be some people who are looking to lose weight, some people who are looking to tone up. So your why needs to be present. It needs to be meaningful. It needs to have meaning at that point. And he said it needs to elicit an emotion. And a lot of us talk about how, a why till you cry. And we feel like a sad or a happy crying emotion. He told the story about how he was in Florida and he was talking to this girl, and she had hit diamond and then fell out, hit diamond and fell out, hit diamond and fell out. And she was just all over the board. And she just couldn't break through whatever plateau was going on in her head. And so he's like, I said, why are you coaching? She's like, well, I want to help people. He's like, that's great. But you can go down to the local food care coalition and help people, why are you coaching? And she's like, well, because I love the workouts. And he's like, well, that's great, but still not good enough, why tell me a little bit more. And she's like, well, I want to stay home with my kids. And he's like, that's awesome. That's great. But that's obviously not been helping you either. So tell me a little bit more. And he said, as I was asking her questions, she slams her hands on the table and she's like, you know what? I am so pissed off at all these other moms that are posting about how they're taking their kids on field trips and this and that. They're spending time with their kids and they're posting pictures about it. I don't want to see that. That makes me angry that they're home with their kids. But I am not going to rub it in other people's faces when I am able to be home. When I'm able to be home with my kids, I'm going to be present, and I'm not going to rub it in the faces of everybody else who's not. He's like, that's your why. That's an emotion. Get home with their kids, be present in their lives, and show other people how to, be at home so you don't have to look at other people's Facebook pictures about them being home with their kids. So it was an angry emotion. So it doesn't have to be a crying emotion. I mean, for me, sometimes I'm like, sometimes my why is like, well, dang it, why not? Why does all these other top coaches get to go do that and not me? Sometimes it really does come down to just that. Build on that. Don't be ashamed of that. Use that. I got up out of bed this morning because gosh darn it, I am 4 months pregnant and I don't want to work out, but I'm going to work out because I had somebody write me and tell me that I ought not to. And so I was like, screw you. So, okay, sorry, that was edited that version, but grab that emotion and have that emotion. It doesn't have to be a crying emotion, but it was before, and so have your why be present and don't let it change as you change, but let it be emotional enough to get you moving. And then share that with other people, because you're going to attract the people who are going to, you're going to attract the people who are doing it because they want to prove other people wrong, and there's nothing wrong with having that as your why. 80% of your communication is how you carry yourself. And this is where I made the video about how he talks about, you be you, don't call, I look at other coaches' posts, I look at the top coaches to kind of see, okay, I stalked their pages to see, okay, how are they presenting these sales for Beachbody? Because they're not going to be including with Shakeology, and I don't want to become, salesy. So I watch and see how they present themselves, and then I make it my own. There are coaches that I follow, and I go, oh, you know what? I could talk about how I've had muscle milk. I've had other protein drinks, and because I have. And I can talk about my experience with them and how Shakeology is different. Now, I'm not going to copy and paste that post because it's written in their language. Go grab the iPad. It's up here. I forgot to bring it back with me. Come grab it off of the island. Or you guys can play on your iPads. You want to do that? No? Go grab the iPad off of the island in here. And so I, look at other coaches' posts, and I grab the topics that they're talking about. I grab the different things that they're talking about and I write down post ideas, but then I put it into my own words. I use my own things. So don't ever steal another coach's stuff, because that's not you. That's not authentic. And that's what we're missing. There's vulnerability that's missing in a lot of people's posts on Facebook, and it's not them. And when you copy and paste somebody else, it's not going to sound like you. And that's where I talked about, when you're inviting somebody, and that's the thing, is that you're confident when you're talking to them. Hey, join our challenge group. It's awesome. It's amazing. It's going to totally help you. Tell me more about your goals. And so they come back, okay, I totally can relate to not wanting to get up and feel like I don't have time. So that's why this 21-day fix is perfect, because, it's only 30 minutes. It's only 21 days. It's something that you don't have to commit to a lifetime to yet. It's going to be small, simple goals, and it's perfect for nutrition. I was a sugar addict. It's up here. And, and so you're talking to them through them. And then that's where it's they're like, yeah, no, this totally sounds great. And then it's what's Shakeology? Do you still use the same, oh my gosh, Shakeology, it's awesome, it's great, or are you well, it's it's this drink that's, it's $4 and, it's not a protein drink, are you still in the same, oh my gosh, it's amazing, it's going to help you be able to have the nutrition, do you still use the same excitement? Because we are really good at detecting intent and detecting changes in, let me grab this for them. It's our TV time. We're really good at guys, I'm not sure what's going on with the TV. So you guys will just have to go. Hey, Dad is actually in the office, I believe. You want to grab him? Or grab your iPads. But yeah, so, or when they're okay, well, how much does this cost? So you just were hey, this group is amazing. It's going to be great. Shakeology is going to be great for you. This workout's going to be great for you. They're all right, awesome, great. How much does it cost? And you're it's $140. They're going to be so should I buy it? If you step out of character, they're going to be well, wait, what are you hiding? You're changing. You're hesitant. Should I be hesitant too? Why? And I relate it to a waiter who's yeah, no, this, you say, okay, so what's good on the menu? And they're oh, this is my favorite meal. This is the one that the chef is awesome on. This is the one that everybody loves. It's awesome. It's amazing. And you're okay, so let me see. I'll have this one. And they're are you sure? You're going to be do I really want that one? And so be real, be you, be authentic, and keep that through the whole entire conversation. And that way then, if you're talking to somebody and you're all full of energy and you're not usually used to being all full of energy, and then all of a sudden you're and this is the price. It goes the same way. You can either go from high to flat, or if you're all flat and all of a sudden you're I'm so excited, how do you join this group? And that's not how you would talk to them before. They're going to be she's really excited. Almost I'm the first one who's ever said yes. They might get a little bit nervous about that. So through the whole entire invite process, be you and stay connected to who you are. And then somebody said, okay, well, how do you make sure that they stay connected to a relationship business? But, we're focusing on Success Club. We're focusing on a paycheck. How do you keep that, connected? And how do you, you really want the Success Club point? How do you make sure that it's something that, you keep in focus? And he said, well, before you talk to anybody, think, how is this going to help someone? How will it benefit them? And so when you're talking to somebody, have that be the thing that is on your mind. And that is your intent. I'm totally talking to you about this challenge group is going to help you. I'm totally talking to you about Shakeology is going to help you. I'm totally talking to you about this price. It's totally worth it. It's going to benefit you because it's going to save you money instead of spending the money on junk food, And so always keeping it as a benefit to them. The focus is always going to then be on them. And he said, your job as a coach is to create an environment to make a decision. They're coming to you with these health problems, these fitness problems. So they obviously have not been able to make the right decision. They haven't been able to make the decision that's best for them. And so you're there to facilitate an environment where they're going to make the right decision for themselves. And if they're not ready to make that decision for themselves, then they're not ready. And you can't, beat them down for it, and you can't make them make the right decision. You are just going to present it black and white, yes or no. And that's what they're asking you to do when they come and connect with you. And they say, yes, tell me more about a challenge group. Yes, tell me more about this program. Let's see. We went through a lot of different social media stuff. You don't be afraid to do calls of actions when you're talking about your coaching opportunity. Don't be afraid to do calls of action when you're talking about your workouts. And they don't have to be a super like, join my challenge group. Like I posted my schedule of how I do Beachbody. Monday is an invite to coaching. Tuesday is a Tuesday transformation. Wednesday is a challenge group invite. Thursday is a throwback Thursday to how life was before Beachbody. And then Friday is another challenge group invite. And so, or a family thing or something. So I can tag the post there. I might even put that as a document in the group. But that way, then I'm constantly talking about Beachbody. I'm constantly challenge groups, inviting the coaching. I'm constantly inviting people, but it's not a shout out in your face invite every single time. So that has really helped me to be able to be on top of that. Define who you are and what your brand is. The 3 to 5 topics that describe you. You're a mother. Are you an artist? Are you a person of faith? We're talking about hashtags. So think of, with Instagram, think about what you would look up in Instagram. If you're going to go to Instagram and you're going to look up somebody that you would connect with, what would you write in? A runner, LDS, Utah, your state, mom of 2, mom of 1, mom of 3, baby on the way, baby bump, fit pregnancy, country music, flip-flop girl, peanut butter addict. I mean, write down the things that define you, and then, create a type of schedule that that makes, that you could write a post about. For me, I have my family. I have my personal development type of post in the morning. I have my workout accountability picture, which you guys are rocking those. And we'll have to see if there's any sort of a testimonial in your confidence in your own journey. Are people I know people are noticing, for me, they're writing me going, hey, so what is this I am powerful thing? And so it's been helpful. I mean, look at your profile page now. All of a sudden it's like, it's not just you working out over here by yourself. You've got 3 or 4 other people throughout the day that are tagging, and people are like, well, wait a minute, what is this about? So I want to start doing that more. Maybe we'll create a new hashtag every month, and I want to start adding that into our challenge groups. Have them document their journey. I am powerful day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, and now then all of a sudden, oh my gosh, like people are watching your profile page, and it's like, there's a whole bunch of you working out. So it gives you credibility. It makes it more fun. It makes it more social. So I don't know how I got into that subject, but anyway, okay. So personal development, a workout picture, something about my family, my kids. They're always doing something crazy. Scooter thinks that my belly's huge today. And then I have on my page, I do a move of the day. And so I'm going to start moving into prenatal moves that are helping me to stay on track, which I'm just modifying the workout moves. And then then at night I do an engaging question. Sometimes I add it into the post. Like today was, finally found hippie runner headbands. I'm like, oh my gosh, because they fit, one size fits all. So if it's Andy's head, if it's my head, I have a small head. So I had asked people if they had tried this type of headband before. And then that way, then I have, throughout the day, I have like 70 people have liked or commented or connected with me. So then that night when I post my invite to a challenge group or Tuesday transformation, it's going to show up in their newsfeed. And we already have gone through a lot of that. He gave a lot of different names of people, Katie Green, Aaron Young, a lot of different coaches who, I'm going to see if I can get the slides from him, who have given tips and tricks. But really when you look at it, you're connecting with people, you're adding value. We're doing the free jump starts. We're doing all these things. We're messaging them. We're connecting with them. We're building relationships with them. And we're doing it all for free. which seems like it's a lot. But the reason why we do that for free is because it leads to challenge groups, and it leads to them getting to know you as a person, getting to know you as a coach, getting to know you from all different aspects. So when you invite them to do a challenge group, it's less like you're a stranger trying to solicit a sale from them, and it's more like you're a friend wanting them to join you. And so, it's more like, hey, let's do this together sort of thing, because they feel like they get to know you more. So that's why being yourself and being consistent is important. I'm going to get to, okay, he said a lot of different things about in the challenge group, don't skip over expectations, which I think I'm going to do a whole separate video about that, because I don't think I set up good expectations for the challenge group. Like, okay, we're going to be posting every day. If I don't see you post, I'm going to come find you, making sure that you are okay. That's my job. Because really, he said that's the difference between Beachbody and a lot of other network marketing companies, is that when they make the sale, the wraps, the juice, the Tupperware, whatever it is, like, that's it. They do that and you got it. But it's when we make a sale, a challenge pack sale, that's when the work starts, when it's time to make the transformation happen for them.
Can I put in 2 cents?
Yeah.
I don't remember if it probably wasn't Kim who touched on this, because he's a guy. But I have down here written in my notes, be the mom who invites the other moms to get together instead of waiting for them to invite you.
Yes.
That's something that I need to work on. I always want to get together and get out of the house and have company besides just my kids, but I'm not always the one that calls somebody. So if you struggle with that too, get out of your comfort zone. Be the one who calls somebody and schedules time to get out, because you can't just sit around forever waiting for them to come to you. It's just like challengers.
Yeah.
Sit around and wait for them. So I don't know. I thought that was really good for me. I don't know about anybody else.
Yeah. It looks like there she is. We lost Sarah Hutch. There we go. I say Sarah Collins and I were going to have a party. But yeah, no, that's totally true. And actually, it was Tiffany who said that, and I thought, yeah, and that's totally true too. As far as don't wait for people to talk to you. It works online and offline too. He then shared Johnny the Bagger, which I cry every time I watch that. And that's like the 4th time I've seen that. Maybe it was pregnancy hormones or not. But it was a guy with a disability as a bagger. And I'll share the story maybe in the links below or the comments below this. But, he was like, he's a bagger at a grocery store. And they had like, hey, let's all do something special for the people who come visit our store to make their stay and their experience different. He was like, what can I do? And so he started putting in little thoughts, a thought of the day in all the people's bags. And so it just completely changed the store, like absolutely like turned it over, and people were driving miles upon miles, and like his line where he was bagging was the only one that would have people in it. And then it had everybody else in the store change the way that they did stuff too. So we can all do something a little bit more for customer service. Some of the things we're in a group. So some of the things that came up were that when we asked people to take their before pictures, one of the cool things we can do is to have them, they send us their before pictures and have them send them to us privately and ask them what their favorite quote is. And then because we're proficient with like PicMonkey and collages, she said the cool thing is that she puts their before picture, she leaves a space for their after picture, and she puts their favorite quote there. And then in the after picture spot, she says, can't wait to see how awesome this journey will be for you. And then she sends it back to them. So they don't have just the before picture, they have something to remind them. And she said it doesn't cost her anything because she's using the PicMonkey. But she said she just wanted to add that extra special touch. Then the other girl said that she connects with her challengers every week because she's only got them for 4 weeks. And so she does a video, hey, I'm thinking about you, sort of a message. And so she said that doesn't cost anything else. Because a lot of people send out like cards Like, but she's like, especially as she's grown and now she's running, 2 challenge groups a month. There's 10 people, that's 20. And she said, it's not a big deal, but stamps and getting a card and things like that, it's also time consuming and taking time. And so she was feeling very frustrated because you didn't have the capability to send a card to everybody who bought a challenge pack. But she's now sending little video messages privately every week to each of her challengers, instead of just a text or, hey, how you doing? It's, hey, I'm thinking about you. And it's her voice and she's talking to them. And she said she felt like that really helped to make a difference. And then there was one other thing that was like, oh yeah, that's a really good idea. The other one said, oh my gosh, it's it started somewhere. Like I said, I took so many notes. It's amazing. She said that after the challenge group is over, because we talked about how once they do your challenge group, like you're still their coach. They may not be in a challenge group, but you are still their coach, and you're building a loyalty base. And so after the challenge, it's 2 weeks after that that this one sends a card. And so so she says that she sends something to them when they aren't expecting it, because in the challenge group they're expecting it, they're connecting with you. But after the challenge group, if they don't become a coach and they don't hop into another challenge group, she still likes to send them a card. And then she gets everybody's birthday date. And so she has been sending birthday cards. And so I don't know, again, with cards and stamps and things like that, but if there's something that you can do that adds just a little extra touch, a little extra special customer service, to that. Because I know we send out like, oh, hey, Facebook reminded me you have a birthday, but if you can send them an e-card, to their email, a day before and say, hey, tomorrow is your birthday, it shows them that you really took the time to connect with them. And obviously making sure that more than just what they're doing, but keeping up with, oh my gosh, you said that the kids are going to be doing baseball over the summer. How is, and remembering their names, asking their kids' names, things like that. I mean, it really makes a big difference to me when people write me that I haven't talked to forever and they're like, hey, how's Scooter doing? Or, hey, Andy, this or that, the other. And I'm like, oh, they remember my kids' names. Even if you go into like their Facebook profile and look through their photos to get their kid's name, I mean, it's a lot better than saying, hey, how's your little one? You're like, okay, like, good, but even if you go in their photos and you go in their albums, a lot of people make albums of each of their kids' births, so even if you go there, it just shows that you're doing a little bit something extra to connect with them, to take it to the next level. Then Kim shared a story, and I'm not going to go too long into it, but man, I cried like the whole entire time through this whole flipping story too, because he said that his dad was a school teacher. He worked in a second job on top of doing network marketing. And so his dad was hardly around, super busy, super, trying to make ends meet for the family. So Kim actually had to become a father figure very early, and he didn't have that connection with his dad. So he vowed with his whole heart that he was going to be like the world's best dad. He was going to provide his kids like the experience of a lifetime with the most world's amazing dad. And so he had, they're pregnant and they had their baby, and the baby has Fragile X disease. And, it's not a fun sickness at all to go through. But they're just devastated. And it was just like, how can I be the world's greatest dad? There's so many things now, that he can't do. There's so many things that he had planned on doing with his kid, that just can't and won't happen because of this sickness. And he just got really, really angry and depressed and frustrated. And he checked out. He checked out as a dad. He's like, I can't handle this right now. And he said that he was throwing the world's biggest pity party, and everybody was invited, and just super, super stressed and frustrated. And he was, I'm trying to remember if they ended up, getting pregnant again, and they ended up having a second kid, and the second kid also ended up, it's a genetic sickness, just, I don't want to say it's not really a disorder, but it is a disease. And and he's just not able to handle it. But he said he remembers that he was driving and just driving around, like he's like, sappy music, sort of thing playing in the background, sort of a scene. And he was praying, and he heard these words come to his mind that said, everybody else in the world is going to doubt their abilities and capabilities. Don't you be one of them. You are their father. And so he finally was like, I'm their dad. Like, them having this sickness does not make me not their dad. I'm still their dad. I still have that capacity, that capability to make their world amazing and have an amazing relationship with them. And he said that applying that to business, I mean, there is, there's going to be, you're going to have a goal. You're going to have a milestone. You're going to have a vision for your life, and you're going to strive for it. And it's going to be perfect in your head, and it's going to be amazing when you get there. And there is something that's going to come up that is absolutely going to test you. It's going to test you beyond your limits. And what that is it's testing you to find out how serious you are about that goal, how serious you are about obtaining that vision that you have for your life. And he said, it's really going to see if you are really committed, if you are going to do what you need to do to get there. Because honestly, the only other option is to quit. I mean, you either work for it or you don't. You deciding to maybe kind of sort of dabble, it's deciding that you don't really want to get there. It is a you do or die sort of a thing. So he said, I'm going to be the best dad, and I'm going to identify what I can control, and I'm going to rock what I can control. And what I can't control, I'm going to let it go. And so he said, that's where you align your actions directly to your goals, and everything else you let go. What people say about you, you let go. You can't control what they're going to say. What they say in response to a challenge invite, you let it go. You are in control of how many invites you send out, not how many people accept the invite. You are in control of how much personal development you do, what videos you look up on YouTube to improve your skills, what workout you do and how you do it, but you are not in control of what other people say or do. You are in control of helping your coaches connect to their why. But honestly, this is one of the things that has been the hardest thing for me, is that you cannot make another coach see what you see. They have to find it out for themselves. And when they do, it's amazing, because you're like, it's kind of like a kid where you're like, they come to the conclusion that you have been leading them to. That's what you're doing for your coaches. And so people are going to doubt your challengers. People are going to doubt your coaches. They're going to have negativity in their life. People are going to say it's not going to work. It's just, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? You're crazy. And it's up to you to be there for your challengers. It's up to you to be there for your coaches, because everybody else is going to doubt them, but you cannot, because you are their coach and you are there for them. And so then he went on to talk about how they really felt like they weren't done with having kids, though. They really felt like they needed to continue growing a family. And so, but they were really scared because they weren't sure if they were going to be able to have, it was a hit or miss. And actually having two kids that already have Fragile X, it was kind of scary to think about having another one. Not that they wouldn't love it or care for the other one, but they were very worried about the stress it would cause, and they didn't want to have anybody neglected. So they actually found out that they could do an in vitro, where they actually test the eggs first to see if this sickness is showing up. But it's a $26,000 procedure, and they didn't have $26,000 to do it. But they set a date for the surgeon to fly out, and they were saving and saving and saving and saving for years. They sold their cars. They got a jalopy of a van. He's like, they lived off of rice and pastaroni. They skimped and saved everything everywhere. as you know, it was just, they just worked and worked and worked and worked and worked and worked their butts off and stuck to the plan. And so the date was approaching that the surgeon was coming in and they were going to fall short. And so that also, think about it. I mean, there are dates that we're like trying to hit Emerald rank. There's dates that we're trying to do, you know, Success Club, and we are doing everything we can and we feel like we're falling short. You got to look and see, is there anything else that you can do? Is there anything else besides begging people for money that you can do? What else can you control? And he looked to see if there was a fundraiser, and he actually saw that another guy was like running for miles. He saw like a Kickstarter campaign or something, and he's like, I got 2 legs, I can run. Sarah and I both looked at each other at this point, knowing where this is going to go. He signed up to, and he had people give him money for how many miles he was going to run, and he signed up for a marathon. Now, granted, they've been skipping and saving, and he's been living off of rice and pasta and all sorts of junk food. So the campaign was, can a fat guy run a marathon? And it was guys, because it was him and his dad. And so he signed up for a marathon 2 months out, never having run before. And so he said that he just, you know, he went out with his shoes, his, you know, basketball shorts and a cotton shirt, and he'd run. And then he'd run a little bit further the next day and a little bit further the next day. And he said, so that applies to business where you've got this goal, and he wasn't perfect. He didn't have all the things. He didn't have the running belt. He didn't wait till he got the running shoes. He didn't, you know, sit there and map out his plan. You know, he got to work, and he ran, and they ran a little further and a little further and a little further. And so each day he just did a little bit more and a little bit more. And as he got better, he went a little bit more and pushed himself a little bit harder. And so that applies to your business where you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have all the knowledge. You don't have to have all the processes. You don't have to be perfect before you start inviting. You know, that's where you say, I have no clue what I'm doing, but I'm a coach. I've got goals. I've got ambitions. I know you've got goals. You've got ambitions. Come on, crazy friend. Let's do this together, sort of a thing. So the day of the marathon comes up, and they're getting on the bus, and all these guys are in like their running shorts, and they've got like, he's like, it looks like they're like packing ammo with their water belts, things like that. And he's like, crap, I probably am way in over my head. And I signed up for the Teton marathon, the damn marathon. And that's not an easy one from what I've heard from friends. And so he just like shoots out of the starting line, like as fast as he can go, which is not what you do in a marathon. And he started to get really tired and really, really cramping. And he had a lot of little jokes and little pictures and stuff like that. But he ended up coming to a fork of the road, and he took a right. And it was 35, 40 minutes that he was running. So, you know, a good 3 miles, maybe 4 to 10 mile pace, that he was running in the wrong direction. And it was a car that had stopped him, and he finally realized, and he like laid in the middle of the road and was like, hit me now. But that can be applied to our business too. Or, I mean, there are times when we do things, you know, we go off on tangents that take us a different direction than what our goals are. There are times when we become inconsistent, when we stop working the business. There are times when we, you know, are sidetracked. What are you going to do? Are you going to quit? You're going to lay down in the middle of the road and just say, I'm done? And so that's where he said, you're empowered with the ability to choose. You know, you see progress in the pain, you see it as a mistake, and you learn from it. And that's when your why comes into play. And the why for him, he was like, you know, it's not about the money. Like, people were going to give him money anyway. You know, he's like, I knew that if I went back and said I did my best, people were still going to give him the money. But he remembered that he was doing it for his kids. And he wanted to show his kids that, you know, you can be in control of the things you can be in control of. And so he got it back up, and he ran the 3 or 4 miles back to where he first took the wrong turn and then started again. And he got cramps. He actually tore his IT band running uphill. You know, and that's also, he realized there was other people who, he's like, they were going slower than me and they were ahead of me. He's like, how does that work? Well, that's the way it is in business, where you look at somebody and, they look like how did they get ahead? How did they get there? Well, they got there by putting one foot in front of the other, just like you. So you just keep on going. And just because somebody's ahead of you, don't go, oh, well, I'm not going to win this marathon, so I'm going to stop. I mean, there's, you cross the finish line, you're a winner. And so you reach your goal and you're a winner. Whatever pace, whatever time it is, that's your thing. You run your own race. And then he said that it was actually perfect because at the end, he was so far behind that they had actually started packing up. There was nobody left there except for his 2 kids. And they were there at the finish line waiting for him. And he said it was a perfect finish to a miserable race. Well, they got the money. The surgeon came out. They did the procedure. And they got the call. And it didn't work. It didn't take. She wasn't pregnant. So after having raised $26,000, running that marathon, doing that procedure, and it didn't work. And he is again faced with, what are we going to do? And he said, you're going to do a lot of work and it's going to backfire. You're going to hit a rank and you're going to lose it. You're going to get a rock star coach and they're going to go off on a different tangent. There are going to be so many things that happen to you that you feel like you've finally arrived and it's gone. And again, it's about doing the things that you can control and not worrying about the things you can't. So it's like we couldn't, it was $26,000, not for every, and multiple tries. It was $26,000 every single try. It's like, so we're going to have to save up another $26,000 if we wanted to do it. Well, it turns out that actually, I think he said it was 3 months later that his wife came to him with a pregnancy test, and she was pregnant, and it was naturally, so they weren't sure whether or not the kid was going to have Fragile X, and they waited, and the doctor called because they had done some amniotic fluid tests, and this child didn't have the sickness, and so they were super thrilled. And then they ended up having a 4th child, and that 4th child didn't have the sickness either, and so they were thrilled again. And he's like, I don't know why those first 2 had the sickness, and I would do anything I could to take it away for them, but I would never take away the experiences I've been through to get to where I am because of their sickness. And I think that's so true, where there are ups and downs, guys. I have been high of high and low of lows through this business, but there's not a moment that I would ever take away. There are moments that I would take away because of the people that are involved, the people that are connected, the challengers who have quit, the coaches who have quit, things that have happened I would take away because I wouldn't want it for them. But there's not a moment in this business that I would not take away because of the growth that I have been through because of it. This company, this business it used to be about getting the Challenge Pack sale. It used to be about getting people on Shakeology. It used to be about, getting them connected with the tools. And now it is about understanding that what this is going to help them heal emotionally, mentally, and physically in every way possible. And I can step back and not worry about the Challenge Pack sale anymore because it is bigger than what that Challenge Pack is going to do for them. It is bigger and better. And so I'm going to, that was a good, again, I still can't not cry when I hear running stories, maybe. I don't know. That's why I hate running, but I love running because of the different analogies that I've taken away from it. But, again, it's about, the things he said. Number 1, don't be afraid to own your goals. These are my goals. This is what I'm going after. This is why I'm going after it. I'm going to own it and be committed. Number 2, obstacles are going to come up and they're going to see if you're really committed. Number 3 is identify what you can control. Let go of the rest. So align your actions directly with your goals and do those things. Do those things that you can control and let go of the things you can't. You'll have a lot less stress if you don't worry about the things you can't control. Be patient with your imperfections. You're going to take wrong roads. You're going to say wrong things. You're going to, that's life. We are imperfect. So we're empowered with the ability to choose what happens when we make those mistakes. Increase your belief. and act with confidence. Let your experience, yeah, I made this mistake. That was dumb, but don't let it bring you down saying, oh, I can't do this. I tried something, it didn't work. And just like Albert Einstein, now I know it doesn't work. So let me try something else. And you don't have to relearn the same lessons, go in with greater belief. You talk to a challenger and they say no, you go, okay, well, now I know that's not what to say when you're talking to a challenger. I have started many of you coaches off with get started right calls that have been lousy. I'm still trying to perfect how to, what to action steps and what things to do and all sorts of different, things to tweak and improve upon. And every time you do something, just have that build your confidence that you're learning and you're growing, and take what this company is and realize that it's deeper than Beachbody. It's deeper than a challenge pack. It's deeper than Team Force, and it's even deeper than you. It's what's inside of you and what you're capable of, what God has placed inside of you, that burning desire to make a difference in somebody else's life. It's about helping other people. But more importantly, it's about empowering them to help themselves. So that was the 3 vital behaviors, 4 hours worth of notes put into one. So again, I will try and grab that recording if Greg puts it up into the Utah Team Beachbody Coaches page. If you want to be added to that group, if you're not added to the group, I can add you to that group. It's kind of more or less I have some Shakeology for sale, who wants it sort of a deal. But if you do want to be added to that, that is where they post the recordings to these Utah trainings and announcements for Utah trainings. There is a ropes course get together on July 10th. It's $40 a person. I'll put that out there for anybody who wants to do that. That is the Saturday before Summit. So I personally am going to be stressing out about laundry and packing. But I can connect you with that information if you want that. So there you go. I'm going to post again in the group. I don't want to keep on switching times. I really want to find a time that works for everybody, the most amount of people, that works like year round. Cause I know summertime at 2:00, it's kind of like the middle of the afternoon, errands being run. It worked great when kids were in school, but, nights are crazy. I was talking to Sarah Hatch and I said, shoot, like 7:00 Saturday morning works for me, sort of deal. But yeah, I really want to nail down a good time that works the best for everybody. Again, we're dealing with East Coast to West Coast. So it's going to be hard to find a time that is perfect for everybody, but if we need to tweak it, we can do that. So if anybody has any questions, I guess you guys let me know here, post in the group. I'm just super proud of this team and everything that we're supportive, we're growing, we're going hard together. And I just love you guys. And again, the reason why I love Beachbody and I wouldn't give up anything is because every single moment in the company has brought me you guys into my life. So I wouldn't want to change anything in case that would change the course of us meeting. So love you guys. Enjoy the rest of the day. Sarah Hatch, I have your ticket, so I'm going to connect with you personally to see what we're doing that day, how we're going through. I've never been through Pretty Poems, but I just heard, you just meet at house 1 and you I don't think you have to go in order, but they have you don't get to go through like the whole house, but they have like different rooms that like they've designed landscaping on some houses. So I'm like, ooh, rich people's homes. Let's walk through them. So I'm all for that. Good. So, and we'll double check. I want to say 2:30. So we're going to run the half marathon. I'm going to come home here, let Judy take her nap. The other 2 are going to run their kid race. And then yeah, so I'll say about 2:00 we'll connect.
Sounds good.
Awesome. All right. Love you guys.
See ya.